For those that are new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications to be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Now let's begin. What is going on, Star Wars fans? Welcome back to another Star Wars The Last Jedi discussion. Before we go deeper into this video, I do want to warn each and every single one of you in the fact that this video is going to contain potential spoilers for The Last Jedi. So again, I do want to go on ahead and remind you all that this video, once again, is going to contain potential spoilers for The Last Jedi. You guys have been warned. Now again, there is no official confirmation on this. However, joining me here today to tackle this potential rumor and spoiler for The Last Jedi is my good friend Fox. Now Fox, there is a huge rumor going around that, again, you guys have been warned, that Kylo Ren is going to be the sole person to kill Snoke in this film, in taking his position as being the head ruler of the First Order. So what I wanted to ask you is, how do you feel about that? Because the movie comes out in a couple of days, and we understand that right now there is lots of talk about Star Wars, and for me, if this ends up being true, at least for that matter, I for one disagree with the idea of Kylo Ren having to destroy Snoke in taking his position up in being the head leader of the First Order. So what I wanted to ask you is, how do you feel about this? Do you agree or disagree with Kylo Ren potentially killing off Snoke? What are your thoughts on Supreme Leader Snoke having to just be in one film, having to see him in the flesh for just one film? And going into Star Wars Episode 9, if this ends up being true, where do you see Kylo Ren's placement? And just as a whole, what are your overall thoughts on Kylo Ren potentially killing Snoke?
Well, I wanted to say thank you for having me on the channel, and honestly, I kind of agree with you at that point. And not having Snoke in the next film is kind of a buzzkill. It's like, we wanted to see, like, as in the previous movies, we were hinted at Palpatine in one movie, and then the next movie he was in the flesh and he just exerted all his power. But only having Snoke in this film for like one episode just to get killed off is kind of pointless to put him in there in the first place.
Right.
Because Kylo Ren, we've seen that he has his faults, but like, how does he go from having all this like faulty stuff when he gets basically beaten by somebody with no training, and then goes from just maybe little off-screen training to just kill Snoke, who is the head of the whole organization, to become the leader himself? I mean, it's kind of pointless just to put Snoke in there in the first place. It's like, what's the point of having Palpatine if he just gets killed off in one episode? It's like, there's no point.
Well, I mean, to Snoke's credit, he is said to be way darker and more vicious than how Palpatine was, and Palpatine was truly a mass manipulator. He manipulated the entire Republic in being selected as the Chancellor and then Senator. It was just, the whole spiel behind Palpatine was perfect in my opinion. He was like the perfect villain, you know, to portray and take up that role as being the head honcho of the Empire. And having to learn about this, if this ends up being true, I personally feel that it kind of devalues the entire role of Snoke as we went from The Force Awakens into The Last Jedi, because I understand the idea that Kylo Ren is still conflicted with the light and the dark, and I think it doesn't get any more grim than seeing Kylo Ren destroy his own master, because we've seen that with Vader and Palpatine, but that was when Vader was, you know, at against the wall, when he had no other options, when he saw his son pretty much get electrocuted to death by Palpatine, by the Emperor, and then making the decision to take him out. But here it's quite different, because we understand that, you know, Kylo Ren willingly, you know, takes Snoke's life in this film, if, of course, once again, this ends up being true. For me, I don't really agree with the fact that he should do this, because then it's like, okay, we go into Star Wars Episode 9, and now Kylo Ren is the leader, he's the supreme leader of the First Order, and you already know how this is gonna go. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get defeated. There is confliction with his overall morals, but going into Star Wars Episode 9, if this ends up being true, what more do you expect from Kylo Ren? Do you see him becoming more vicious? Do you see him falling deeper into the dark side? Or do you believe that there's potential there for him to be redeemed and fully turn on over to the light side?
From what we've seen in the original soundtrack, it says that there's still good within Kylo. So honestly, with him having the conflictions and being the head honcho, I think either when he fights Rey for the last time, I think he's just going to become, like, his imbalance will just come full force, and he has to make that final decision of who he's going to go with, because we've seen with Han, he's been conflicted. He's seen with his family just being very conflicted on what he wants. And he just seems like a very confused puppy, and he doesn't know where he's going. So I just feel like Kylo either will redeem himself in the final film, or he's gonna go all the way to the end and just give up.
I mean, for me, I think that this concept, if it ends up being true, it's going to be a shock because I want to see Snoke's reaction. But post your comments down below, guys, as to what you guys think about this potential spoiler. Do you guys agree or disagree with this idea? If you guys saw the film, you guys can go ahead and let us know down below if this in fact ends up being true, or if this is, you know, some sort of a false narrative to where people are just making this up. But again, if in fact this ends up being true, I think it'll be a huge shock to the entirety of Star Wars, because Snoke was portrayed to be some dark force behind Kylo Ren, and now Kylo Ren takes his position. I think it's very interesting. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. If you guys are new to this channel, slap a like down below, hit that subscribe button, guys, for more Star Wars content and discussions alongside future theories for Star Wars Episode 9, and we'll be seeing you all down below, guys. Take it easy. Peace.